Welcome to Triumph IAS. It's a daily mains practice question and answer series. This program is exclusively designed for UPSC CSE aspirants. In this video discussion, we will discuss UPSC CSE mains previous 25-year questions. Question number 1. How do ocean currents and water masses differ in their impacts on marine life and coastal environment? Give suitable examples. Let's start with the introduction of the answer. Currents are distinct and generally horizontal flow of a mass of water in a fairly defined direction. Currents are formed due to the density of water rotation of the Earth and planetary winds. The main body of the answer should be Number 1. These currents form a clockwise pattern in the northern hemisphere and move in anti-clockwise pattern in the southern hemisphere. Number 2. The currents of the Indian Ocean are influenced by monsoon winds. The oceanic movement in the form of currents helps in the dispersal of marine life. Number 3. Ocean currents are an important abiotic factor that significantly influences food webs and reproduction of marine organisms and the marine ecosystems that they inhabit. Number 4. Even fish and mammals living in the ocean may have their destinations and food supply affected by currents. Water masses are formed as the result of climatic effects in specific regions. Number 5. Within the ocean, distinct water masses with physical properties that are different from the surrounding water form and circulate, much like air masses in the atmosphere. Number 6. Several important water masses help to drive the thermohaline circulation. North Atlantic deep water, NADW, the biggest water mass in the oceans, forms in the North Atlantic and runs down the coast of Canada, eastward into the Atlantic, and south past the tip of South America. Number 7. NADW forms in the area where the North Atlantic Drift, the northern extension of the Gulf Stream, ends, so it helps to pull the Gulf Stream northward. Number 8. If the NADW were to slow down or stop forming, as has happened in the past, this could weaken the Gulf Stream and the North Atlantic Drift and cool the climate of Northwest Europe. Number 9. Another cold water mass, Antarctic bottom water, ABW, is the densest water mass in the oceans. Number 10. It forms when cold, salty water sinks in the sea surrounding Antarctica, carrying oxygen and nutrients with it, and flows northward along the sea floor underneath the North Atlantic deep water, displacing the waters above it and helping to propel the thermohaline circulation. The conclusion of the answer is: this circulation pattern is not constant or permanent. Studies of Earth's climate history have linked changes in the strength of the thermohaline circulation to broader climate changes. At times when the conveyor belt slowed down, temperatures in the northern hemisphere fell. When the circulation intensified, temperatures in the region rose. Question number 2. Assess the importance of panchayat system in India as a part of local government. Apart from government grants, what sources the panchayats can look out for financing developmental projects? Let's start with the introduction of the answer. 2018 marked the 25 years of establishment of Panchayat Raj system in India. The PRIs came into force by the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act, 1993. Panchayat Raj system has often been perceived as a significant landmark in the evolution of grassroots democracy in India. Moving on to the main body of the answer. Importance of Panchayat Raj system. Number 1. Panchayats help in realizing the ideals of democracy by involving people in the decision-making process. Number 2. It plays an important role in identifying the local beneficiaries of various programs like that of poverty elimination and employment generation. Number 3. PRIs help in implementation of various development programs like mass education and family planning, etc. Number 4. It helps in realizing the Gandhi's ideals of making each village a republic having governance of its own. Number 5. Provisions of mandatory 33% reservation to women help in participation of women in political arena. Thus, PRIs help in ensuring justice to women who have been historically disadvantaged. Number 6. PRIs give shape to directive principles enshrined in the Constitution. Number 7. Though it has been more than 25 years since the PRIs came into force, there can only be limited success attributed to it. Since panchayats greatly depend on the government grants, lack of financial autonomy is one of the lacuna of 73rd Amendment Act. Sources other than government grants for financing projects. Number 1. Panchayats has the power of raising revenue through local taxes, but in many cases the state legislature's approval is necessary. Number 2. Land revenue generated from the villages. Number 3. Toll tax for the tolls present in the village, water tax, etc. The conclusion of the answer is: however, panchayats largely depend on the government grants for financing developmental projects since the revenue it earns from the taxes is minimal. Panchayats play a pivotal role in making the democracy reach its grassroots. Thus, it is the need of the hour to address the problems faced by the Panchayats Raj institution, PRIs, in realizing their true essence. Question number 3. Industrial growth rate has lagged behind in the overall growth of gross domestic product, GDP, in the post-reform period. Give reasons. How far the recent changes in industrial policy are capable of increasing the industrial growth rate? Let's start with the introduction of the answer. The industrial sector is one of the main sectors that contribute to the Indian GDP. It accounts for around 27.6% of the India GDP. However, contrary to the expectations of economists, the Indian industrial growth declined in the post-reform period. The main body of the answer is: the deceleration of industrial growth continued in the next decade. The main reason for the slowdown may be the tightening of the monetary policy and consequent credit squeeze with high interest rates. Industrial growth rate has lagged behind in the overall growth of gross domestic product, GDP, in the post-reform period because of the following reasons. Number 1. High interest rates in India and lack of availability of timely credit and capital. Number 2. Contraction in the manufacturing sector, particularly consumer and capital goods. Number 3. Complex law regime and multiple clearances like environmental clearances, procurement of land, etc. Rigid labor market discourages investment in the manufacturing sector. Number 4. Prior to the GST regime, different states had multiple tax laws with lot of interstate variations in the tax regime. Number 5. Poor infrastructure is also a factor as industrial sector requires a smooth transport facility, regular power supply, etc. Number 6. Various policy measures have been initiated post-reform period to increase the growth rate of industrial sector. Number 7. Make in India program has resulted into a positive business environment in the country. Number 8. Uniform tax regime, GST, single window clearance, and various investments submits at national and state level has made India more investment friendly. Number 9. While the national manufacturing policy aims to raise share of manufacturing sector in GDP to 25% by 2025, the foreign trade policy 2019 to 2020 aims at double the India's exports. Number 10. North-East Industrial Development Scheme, NAIDS, has been also launched for further promotion of industrial development in the northeastern region. Number 11. Various incentives related to capital investment, transport, employment, reimbursement in GST and income tax for new units in manufacturing and services sectors are going to enhance the industrial growth. The conclusion of the answer is: since most of these initiatives are long-term measures, they are certainly going to have a positive impact on the industrial growth rate in the long run.